Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Hiya Toys RoboCop 2 ROBOCAIN. And as is usually the case with Hiya, they have packed in an incredible amount of detail. Now you guys know I don't collect this line. If you've seen my reviews, I don't collect anything from Hiya just because I don't collect that scale. I have to draw the line somewhere. Like, I collect a lot of things. The scale's not for me. They send me these to review for all of you who do collect the scale or who are interested in the IPs, like RoboCop for instance. It doesn't get a ton of love, but they want me to review them for you guys, and even though I don't always say positive things, they keep sending me review samples, and so I appreciate that as a company. It's a sign of good faith that they are interested in doing better and better and better as they produce more and more figures, and they do seem to be doing that. This is a good example. A lot of you guys like the ED-209 I reviewed. This one's along the same lines as that. So let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. And this guy stands, I have him a little bit taller than he's supposed to be. You know, in the movie, and of course in the reference image, or not reference, promo images, they have him all short, like he was in the movie. I hate that look. I don't understand why it was ever a thing. Like, give him some height, give him some legs. Anyway, I'm gonna do it like this, because that's the way I think it looks best. Just a little bit of extra height, like that. He's got some height to him. That's 6 inches right there. It's supposed to be like 5.5 or 5 officially, if you put it the way it's supposed to look. But that's the way I like it. Here it is up against a Marvel Legends figure. A little bit shorter, obviously, at 6 inches. Okay, so like I said, they pack in tons and tons and tons of detail. Now this one doesn't light up or make any noise or anything like that. It is just packed with all the detail. So we're just gonna look around real quick. You can see all the sculpt work is super clean, super sharp. There's no sloppy sculpting going on. There's not a whole lot of like super detailed paint because it doesn't really suit the character, but what is painted is done well. There's really no issue. Everything is very, very nicely done. I can't think of anything they really need to do more. At this size especially, it's really well done, and they've gotten all the little details in there too. I mean, as much as is reasonable. Of course, this was like a full-size thing in real life. I imagine they had like a full-size one that they used for the movie, even though it wasn't actually functional. I don't think it was like a miniature only that they did. I don't remember. I don't know. Okay, time for question of the day. Do you guys think RoboCop 2 is as much a stinker of a movie as I do? Because I think it's terrible. Now, I'm not saying you can't like it. I like all kinds of terrible movies. But for me, RoboCop 1 was already just pushing it. And RoboCop 2 and 3 got progressively worse for me. Like the whole Kane thing, not about it. I didn't like it at all. I thought it was terribly executed and not good. But you guys can let me know if you disagree. I don't mean to offend anyone, just letting you know my opinion about those movies. Okay, so now that I've offended everybody who's watching this, hey, you're allowed to like things that are bad. I do all the time. I'm just saying, like, I acknowledge that they're bad is all. Okay, so yeah, this guy sculpted well, painted well. I want to say 10 out of 10 for the aesthetic. I can't really think of anything they need to do more. There's shading throughout. Like you can see there's a little bit of shading underneath the neck. That's not just like shadow, but it is nice and metallic, like a flat gunmetal sort of. There's so much detail. Like look at this flat right here where the bicep, you could call it, would be. They just packed in so much little detail. Like all that, I guess you would call it grime. This thing looks top notch. Love it. I love that they put that much effort into their figures. It's a smaller scale, costs a little bit more based on more for the size, but you sure are getting your money's worth if you ask me. Okay, so again, they don't tell me what to say. I support the line because I like the company and I like their products. I just don't happen to collect them. So okay, let's move on to accessories. There are none, so you know we'll do 0 out of 10 for that. And now for the articulation. This thing's pretty packed full. The head doesn't have a ton of range. It's just on that one black peg you can kind of see in there. And it does look up and down a little bit. Rotation, of course, a little bit of attitude, not much. This disc right here rotates, so you can get the little arm forward if you want, or you can get the big arm forward if you want that. I don't remember how it was in the movie. I think these were like folded up, and then the big arms were out, and then these guys came out. I don't know. But yeah, you get full rotation there, so that's nice. The little arm can rotate. It is connected to the big arm. It's the same on both sides by this plastic hose, plastic tuber, but you do get your full rotation right there as much as you can have based on the sculpt. You get your hinge as much as you can have. There is no swivel in the arm, unfortunately, but you get an elbow joint, so to speak, right here. Better than 90 degrees. You get another joint right at the end where the wrist is, if you want to call it a wrist, like that. And that's it for the little arm. For the big arm, basically the same range. You have the swivel and the hinge, and it's full range as far as the sculpt will allow, so that's fine. You get your elbow joint right there. The barrel spins on the gun, not that that really helps, but it does. And does this move? Yes, it does. Okay, cool, it was stuck earlier. There we go. Sometimes just handling things before the review, they end up loosening up. So you get your elbow, and then you get your puncher hand that slides forward like that. Okay, now on this side, same thing for the little arm. This doesn't open up. Not that it would need to. I think this was like, what, electrical or flamethrower or something like that? That's what it looks like. But yeah, you get your elbow and wrist joints. It's basically the same thing. And on this arm, you have this gun, but this doesn't actually rotate. They did a really good job getting the rotation underneath that. So that's cool. Shoulder and everything's the same. And then on this one, you have a different forearm, obviously. So you have the hinge that goes side to side next to the elbow that has full range. Then you have a wrist hinge like this. And you have a thumb hinge. So it's got everything really that you could expect. Like, yeah, technically you could make the fingers move more, things like that, but it's definitely enough. It's packed. Very good. Okay, and so let's rotate it around. I want them like this. Let's put the little ones on top and the big ones on the bottom. I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be. Okay, so then for the waist, you just get your rotation. It is ratcheted. Not for any particular reason, I imagine, but it is ratcheted. There's no leaning, or if there is, mine's super stuck. So just ratcheting rotation. For the hips, you already kind of saw me mess with them. They can go all the way up like that, so you can really shorten them up if you want to, as much as you want. But you get full rotation as far as the sculpt will allow, again, for that ratcheted hip right there. And then this one is also full rotation as much as you want. So you can really pose this guy, you can have him standing straight up and down if you want, which I think is way better look than the little tiny goofy thing like this. But you can do that. And then of course the knee, again, full rotation as much as the sculpt will allow. And then for the ankle, it looks like there's two joints. There's only one. This is just a connection point. Then there's only one joint here at the ankle. Not a great range going forward, but like it's going to be enough. You get a lot of ankle there. And then you get a toe hinge also. This one's stuck. We'll unstick it. There we go. Not stuck, just really tight. So decent range in the toe. This thing's packed full of articulation, and I like it. Like, I hate the design. It's so 80s. Like, it's so not a good design. But it is what it is, and they nailed it. It's super accurate. I mean, as far as you could expect for this scale and at this price point. It's very, very accurate, very well executed. I'm going to give the articulation an 8 out of 10. It works. No, I'll go 9. It works pretty well. I imagine that's about accurate to the source material too, as far as the amount of range. It would have been cool to see a little bit more going on in here, I guess. So that's about it. But okay, time for a final verdict on this. I don't see how they could have done much better reasonably. So I'm going to give it a final rating of 9.5 out of 10. It's a really, really solid piece. Those of you who are RoboCop fans, especially RoboCop 2, this is, you got to get this, right? Like, there's not a ton of figures out there for this kind of stuff. And when they come around and they're good, what's not to like? So yeah, I'm not a fan of the movie, but I definitely encourage this for all of you who are. And like, I like RoboCop as a character, but I don't think the movies, 1 was okay. I didn't like 2 and 3 at all. 1 came out on my birthday. Literal my birthday. So that's like something. It's not. Okay, so there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, you can give it a thumbs down. And if you're just mad because I said I don't like those movies, that's okay too. You can share the video to all the other fans and talk about how much of a jerk I am. That'd be awful. Please don't do that. And if you haven't subscribed, you might want to. I have new videos almost every single day and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.